The Stranger Things finale, I would say like authentic. Or not authentic, but it was a different type of experience. I went to the theater for this. I went to AMC theaters. They were showing it, and I think it made like 28 million in box office. So it's kind of a weird thing for Netflix to make money at the box office because of the way they think about movie theaters and stuff like that. But I had a really fun time. Like it was a good crowd. They weren't really talking loud over it, but like when there was parts that you needed a reaction, they gave a reaction, and so it was fun. And so that definitely colors my experience. So that's just my overall thoughts on it. I liked it. I thought it was good. And I was confused because I had saw the online reaction first and then I went to go see it. And usually I don't like to do things that way, but that's just how the cookie crumbled on this. And it was good to me. So I was confused at the reaction, but at the same time I just understand it because the 3 year, I think it's 3 to 4 years, the wait between season 4 and season 5 was just so long that I don't think anybody really would have been happy with this finale. That's just the game you play by waiting this long to release something. And so, people weren't liking it too much, but I thought it was good. I thought the way we got like the pacing and what we ended up getting with the endings was serviceable and was okay with me. I think the battle in the middle, what we got with Elle looking like an absolute superhero and fighting Vecna in them, and the rest of the party and everybody contributing and helping out was a good moment, like a moment I'll remember. And I gasped when I saw some of the monsters and the creatures in this finale. So I think they did the job well done. I think it's a job well done for everybody around. Um, I think I liked the way that there were road bumps. There wasn't too many road bumps actually, but I think again it's a 3 year wait, so they're not gonna give you too many road bumps. But um kind of getting into spoilers, kind of what Hopper did kind of deterred them a little bit. And I thought it was well done and well placed, and nothing really was didn't make sense to me. You know what I mean? So the acting of the show gets a lot of flack. I don't think it's that bad. To be honest, I've seen way worse. So I don't it doesn't really matter to me. I don't really care that much about that, to be honest. There's some moments where you do go, ooh, maybe I should have took that again. Maybe I should have took that line again. But it didn't really do too much to me one way or the other. The look of the show is actually what I really wanted to talk about because I think it looked amazing in the theater. Just the look of it, some like wide shots, the way everything, the color of it looked really nice to me. And so they got a whole bunch of money for this, so it paid off in the way that it looks. Let's go to 11 because I think she really is the star of this. um how do I want to say it? Like 11 is the star. She is the star of the show. She is this was about her if you go back to season 1. It really is about her and Will. And so 11, I just thought the way they paced this whole thing about her decision to sacrifice herself, really. That's the mindset she's going in with. Um was really nice. And I enjoyed her and her scenes with Hopper, which is a relationship they have fell back on a lot. But I thought this was really well utilized. Hopper speaking to her and being like, "Well, hold on, like there's a life you can have a life after this. There's something after this to look forward to, and I want you to try to keep fighting and striving for that day." And we know Hopper is traumatized with the death of his child due to cancer. And so to me, that was really like I was sitting in that theater like, wow, that was really touching. Like, and so there was some good stuff there. And I like with this finale how we kind of just jump into it. Now, we've had been waiting a long time. So that's probably a reason why we just really jumped and got right to it. But I enjoy that. And then we had those character moments along the way of the journey, right? 11 put up crazy stats. She put up crazy numbers. She's the reason they even got through this in the first place. She was doing anything and everything. She was holding the team together. She was LeBron in 2018. Like, that's how important and vital she actually was. And it really can't be understated everything she did for the team. They put her in the little water so she can tap into minds. She grabs her sister. She grabs Max. They go into Vecna's mind. Max was able to play her part. I was surprised at how little a part Max played. though. She was kind of just in the first half, really, of them completing this little mission to in Vecna, right? And I really thought that was cool. Max was able to use what she learned being basically held captive to for them to get to Vecna quickly. And I liked how we just really got straight to the action. 11 uses her powers, gets Vecna out the window. They get to the kids. They explain to the kids, "Yo, Vecna's really the bad guy, really the monster." I enjoyed that. And what else do I want to say? I really like that 11 has kind of grown in the way that she has stopped monologuing. Like usually they'll give you a little one liner, like 11 will hit a one liner on them. She didn't do that. She was just straight on. Let's get to business, and I like that. Her sister though, her sister did not learn that. She hasn't been through the full journey, so I don't expect her to know that you can't be dropping one lines on Vecna because Vecna's gonna disappear, right? And so she tries. They have a good plan. She tries to end him. It doesn't work. And she says hello, brother, to him. He disappears. I was literally in the theater like, why did she say that? And so now we're behind the eight ball. Everybody's scrambling. Vecna gets in Hopper's mind. Hopper ends up shooting the glass. 11 falls out. And it's just pandemonium, chaos. This is the first domino to fall in this little plan they got. But they got back on track really quickly because 11 is just smart. Her sister has to die. We knew that was going to happen. Stranger Things is synonymous with killing a character that nobody really cares about so they don't have to kill a real main character that people care about, right? So they kill her. The military gets to her. The military still being involved is really annoying and kind of like, all right, like, all right, but we need a force to get in the way of our plans to get to Vecna. So the military is that force, right? And they end up killing her sister. 11 still like she kind of wipes her tears. She's like, all right, we went back on it. And it ends with her defeating Vecna. Other people help out and contribute, yes, but she's really the point guard. She's really the star of the show. She does that. And I want to say, what happens after that? Okay, so they end up getting back into our world, right? The military catches them. 11 escapes and she's back in the upside down and she does what she set out to do, which is to end her life and end this cycle that we found ourselves in. And I think 11 actually, she had a little bit before this. She has a retort to Hopper and she's like, all right, well, I'm not sure daughter who died. I'm not Jane. Um I'm doing this for a reason. I need you to trust me. You've helped me grown up. I'm an adult now. I can make my own decisions. I need you to trust in my decision. So she makes that decision. But first, her and Mike have a discussion. Purple Ray starts to play. And at that point, I'm like, I'm in the theater and there's other people around me. One has a Club Shay Shay hoodie, and the other, I don't know, I didn't really get a good look at them. I'm not gonna start crying. I'm just not gonna start crying. I'm by myself. I'm not gonna start crying in this theater, right? But something about it, and something about Purple Rain being used, and something about her and Mike's having that discussion. This is the first time we've really seen Mike Finn Wolfhard really start to get into his acting bag a little bit because it kind of felt like he really wasn't doing too much, but at the same time he wasn't called to do too much in the rest of the season. This is his moment. And 11 has just been on a tear. She's been helping everybody out and now it's her time and she's really about to leave and I'm emotional. I'm sad. And I think the show did a great job of that to be able to invoke feelings in me because Stranger Things has never really been like something that I've hold like near and dear to my heart really. I watched the show and I think it's cool, but it wasn't as special to me as it is to some other people. So for them to be able to invoke emotion and be in that way, I'm like, all right, well this finale is already good. Like that's my thinking, right? And she says to him, I need you to explain my choices to the other people. I need that. And she just leaves and you hear like Mike like wail out L. Purple Rain just playing in the background. All the other characters are distraught and sad too. And this just hit for me. This was just it. This was it. We didn't get Elle and Mike interacting really at all this season, but I still felt it because I know about season 3. I know about season 4 and the I Love You Soon. I know about season 2 and season 1. And so they did flashbacks, they did the whole shebang. And one thing about me, a cheat code in a finale A series finale is you gotta have those flashbacks of stuff I've seen previously in like season one. And I'm seeing these like kids when they were young, and I'm emotional. And so she was this show. She was this finale as well. And so she was just really the linchpin of this whole thing. But I also wanted to get into Stranger Things MVPs. These are people in the finale who really did their job, who really stepped up and played their position, and who deserve that MVP award. So first of all, Nancy. Nancy Wheeler has just never been scared a day in her life, really. And if she is scared, she's just never gonna show it. And I appreciate that and I love that. And so she was the first one through the portal. Like, just no fear. She was mean mugging the whole time, walking down to Vecna's monster. She didn't care. And I love that. And one thing about it is she well, she did care because she almost died, right? And the fear was on her face, but she was still shooting that gun. And I appreciate, like, she was just really, her development throughout this whole series, and her just, I'm gonna go out and get it, and I'm gonna stop these monsters, and I'm gonna get my sister Holly back. I loved that, and I loved that attitude, and she was one of my favorite characters, and she showed that to the end, and she definitely deserves that MVP award. She is right next to Elle. Next is Jonathan. Jonathan really never does that much. He never does too much, but he never really makes me mad either. I like Jonathan, right? And so he did two big things here. Number one, he saved Steve from falling, which I really think they should have killed Steve off, honestly. If you really want to get into my nitty gritty, I think more people needed to die in this, honestly. But I'm cool with him not dying too. Like, I love Steve. So he saved Steve at the beginning of this episode. We're getting to the third act. Well, this is a 2 hour thing, but the climax of the battle, right? And Nancy's in trouble. She's pinned down. Looks like she's gonna be eaten by this huge monster with like 8 tentacles, and it looks crazy in the theater. Jonathan gets the flamethrower on his skin. He basically throws the first real punch from up above and saves Nancy. Like, you gotta give him his tens here, and he deserves an MVP. Will deserves an MVP because he stopped Vecna from like unleashing his full power. He is like tapped in with Vecna, so he's able to stop Vecna with his mind. That was cool. I had fun with that. And yeah, so he has to be on this list as well. 11, we already know. Holly, I was impressed with her leadership. She's just a child trying to navigate this. Vecna is a weirdo, and she's got to get these kids out into the mountain or into the canyon, the mountain, the whatever. It's a place where Vecna can't get them, right. And Vecna is just, I don't know. He's just, first of all, he's not really real. He doesn't really want it enough for me as a villain. But he did try to get through the canyon, which we thought he couldn't go past because of his traumatic memories. But he pushes through. He gets through. And what does Holly do? She's like, "All right, y'all, we gotta escape." She gets the kids to escape. She gets them down into another little cave or whatever, and she fights back. She literally gets something and like scratches him. Now it doesn't really work, and she ends up getting like, I don't know. I don't know what ends up happening to her. She like gets thrown down and stuff like that. But she did that and she contributed and she tried her best. And I appreciate that a lot, right? Um, who's next? Joyce, she ends up killing Vecna, and I thought this was a really good move and a really poetic move because Joyce is the beginning of this. In season one, it's her kid who goes missing, and she has to go. She's looking any high and low and anywhere to try to find this kid. And the show is really about her. And so for her to end up in this final battle to kill Vecna once and for all with an axe, while everybody else has flashbacks of what happened to them, I loved it. I thought it was great. Like, I really think when people like stop kind of being mad that this took 3 years and this is kind of the ending product of it, and when they really look back at some of these moments, they'll be like, yeah, that was fire. Like, I think Joyce doing that signifies a lot. It signifies her moving on, releasing what happened to her and what happened to Will, and that's something she held on to all the way to season 5, right? And it signifies her kind of being reborn and living this new life, and everybody else too. But her getting the final shot is amazing. So those are my MVPs. Now I'm gonna go over the rest of the core four, the rest of the kids. Dustin didn't do much, but I love Dustin, so he's good regardless. He did help in the killing the monster, so he's cool. Lucas saved Dustin, so that was cool of him. But it feels like his real mission was just saving Max, and he already did that before the finale, so he didn't really have much to do either. Max was a heavy presence at the beginning of the episode, like I said, but after the connection was lost, after Hopper did that, she was kind of just like, what is she gonna do? So she kind of wasn't really involved with it. And then Mike, he didn't do much, but that ending scene like really moved me. Well, not even ending. That was like the middle of this thing. It was 2 hours, but that scene with Elle really moved me. So I'm gonna go over everybody's endings, right? Mike ending up being a writer makes sense. It makes a lot of sense actually, and I think he's gonna be traumatized for the rest of his life. Obviously, number one, because well, I mean, his girlfriend died, really, and he ends up making up a scenario in which he lives. Now, is that scenario true? I don't know. They all say around the table, I believe, I believe. Sure, I think the logistics are a little messed up because I think um the girl, she definitely would have passed before she was able to cast that spell. Just because they took so long fighting that monster and all of that, I don't know if I believe, but I want that for him. So I'm gonna say, yeah, they make it through that. Right? Um Lucas, he just ended up being with Max, which is cool. I really feel like with Lucas, it was kind of a missed opportunity to show more of his personality, more of his likes, dislikes, dreams, hopes, aspirations. But he's one of the only black characters, really the only main black character in this show, so you knew they weren't gonna do that, right? But I thought his ending was cool. Him and Max loved them together, so I'm glad they ended up together. Max's ending likewise. Max is cool. Her ending up with Lucas is cool. Dustin going to college, still hanging out with Steve, all of that. I love that. I enjoy that so much. Will, finally being able to live his truth in his life. Um, I love that too, and I definitely saw all of them getting out of this town. Like I saw them really sticking there. Maybe Lucas and Max, but I don't really see that either. Like, so I'm glad they had that. Nancy ending up getting a job. I feel like her dropping out of college like might be shocking to some people, but I feel like she had just been through so much, and I feel like it weared on her more than a lot of the older kids. Everybody's traumatized, so maybe it didn't, but I really feel like it's just it just makes sense. For Steve, him being a baseball coach makes perfect sense. He loves teaching kids, and that was something we learned about him throughout this whole process of having to basically babysit Dustin and them. And so, him being a coach and a teacher makes perfect sense. Jonathan trying to shoot movies makes sense. He always loved stuff with the camera, stuff like that. Um, Robin, doing her thing, being in college is really cool. And them promising to meet up once a year or once a month, they said. They're not going to do that, but I love that they even have the hope that they would kind of meet up. That's not going to last. Maybe it's a couple of months before it fizzles out, but I love that they even just tried that, and they like were emotional talking about how it's never going to be the same with their other friends. And none of their other friends went through this traumatic stuff that really bonded them and forged them as a group, and they won't get that again anywhere else. And for likewise for the younger kids, Mike, Lucas, Max, Dustin, Will, their ending scene of them playing D&D and like it being really over and them getting emotional, I was like, wow, yeah, this show really is over. It's been like 10 years. Like, that's crazy. And so to see them like go upstairs, go to their future, leave their childhood behind downstairs, and Holly and her friends going downstairs was a really great ending. Really poetic. Really enjoyed it. Joyce and Hopper getting married and moving makes perfect sense. Love them together. And so all in all, this finale was good. Like, I don't understand like what else they could have done to really like move y'all even more. And I forgot to mention this, but when they go after Elle dies, it's an 18-month time jump to show what everybody's kind of doing. And Landslide starts playing. Landslide by Fleetwood Mac. Like, I don't know what else you want them to do because that's excellence to me. Like, a landslide needle drop is excellence to me, and I don't know what else you want them to do. The music of this was just amazing. Like, they had another Prince song, and now I can't think of it. They had Purple Rain and Dove, something Dove. I can't remember the name of the song, but y'all know what I'm talking about. And they had that before when they were exiting, and I was getting emotional on even that. Like, I was like, wow, like, we're really here. We made it out. I knew something that was going to happen, but even that, like, doves cry. Doves cry. And so, yeah. I loved that. This was a great finale, and it kind of it was worth the price of admission to Stranger Things season 5 to me because I just wanted to see these characters kind of get in a happy place. They even had Elle kind of have a happy ending, even though I don't believe that to be true. I do think she passed away, but that's cool, and it makes sense with what we've seen with the show before. Meaning, they weren't gonna kill anybody off who was really really important. You know what I mean? Even with Elle, they didn't really kill her off. There was still some hope at the end, and that is like we've seen in past seasons. So I don't know. I don't really expect them to kill off a major character in the finale because we've seen past seasons in season finales they haven't done it. So they stayed true to who they were as a show and they didn't do that. And so to me this is really the best you could really get with a Stranger Things finale. The show is has earned its place as Netflix's top original series just in terms of acclaim. Well, not acclaim. I don't know. There's probably shows that have more acclaim, but like cultural significance, um, at its peak popularity, um, and it was really unique. In this streaming age, I don't know. If you see stuff as unique as this, I think it was really unique, and it was really something that Netflix needed at the time to get jumping in terms of a Netflix original series because this premiered in what like 2016 maybe, like they were really just starting to turn out those Netflix original series. So this show definitely has a place in TV history, and it's a place that a lot of other shows don't really get to, especially in this day and age.